Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to the Ed Word. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest and once again, an absolutely fan-freaking-tastic episode of Invincible. Oh my God, what an amazing episode that was. Holy shit, so much went down and so much was revealed, and there's a lot to talk about. Now, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on Invincible by the latest episode, which is episode 8, and it's the season 3 finale, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Seriously, big time spoilers are about to follow, so if you're not caught up, don't keep watching or listening. Okay, you've been warned multiple times. Spoilers starting now. Holy shit, what a fight. Now, when you say to me, remember how great that fight was in season 1 between Omni-Man and Invincible? I'll be like, what fight between Omni-Man and Invincible? Because this fight took the cake. Granted, that fight between Mark and his dad was great, but it felt like they just upped the ante in this episode. I mean, half this episode was a fight between Invincible and Conquest and Oliver and Atomic Eve. Seriously, it was just a fantastic, epic fight between two powerhouse characters. And of course, as my friend pointed out to me last week when Conquest made his big debut on the show, I was like, oh yeah, we got a Walking Dead reunion. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was voicing Conquest, and Stephen Young was Glenn, and I was like, oh shit, we get to see a Glenn versus Negan fight, which I'm sure a lot of Walking Dead fans appreciated if they're watching this show. So that was fun. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest was awesome. He was creepy. He was unsettling. He was bloodthirsty. You know, I thought Battle Beast was out for blood, but this guy seems to really enjoy carnage, which made him all the creepier. And for a second there, I really thought he was dead, that Mark had beat his brains in. But then I thought the same thing about Angstrom in season 2. And look what happened there. So it's possible that, you know, like that little end scene teased with Donald and Cecil in that underground facility, and Conquest's head encased in that metal case thing. It's possible he could regain consciousness, but it sounds like rather than tapping into his physical strength, Cecil wants information about the Viltrumites. So we'll have to see what happens with that next season. But wow, what a fantastic episode. For a moment there, I really thought they did kill Eve off. I'm like, oh, I liked her, and she was so great with Mark. But then when it became quickly apparent, I was like, oh, good. Oh, yippee, yay. I gotta say, there was really only one scene that truly surprised and shocked me in terms of like moments for me, and that was towards the end, and it was the post-credit scene showing the return of one of my absolute favorite characters, and I wish we had seen more of him since we last saw him in season 1. Damien Darkblood has returned, and it looks like he's in hell, or at least underground somewhere, meeting with a fellow demon, talking about a powerful surface dweller whom they could possibly use for their own nefarious purposes. Now, who they're talking about remains to be seen. And the voice sounded super familiar too, and I'm like, who's that voice? It sounds very familiar. And I was looking it up later. I'm like, oh my God, Bruce Campbell. How awesome is that? So I was like, wow, that's awesome. But I was so fucking happy to see Damien Darkblood return after all this time, and he became one of my favorite characters during season 1, and I was so bummed he sat out seasons 2 and 3 for the most part, except for the final cliffhanger ending there. But he's back, and I'm sure he'll be back in a bigger role and a bigger capacity in season 4, so we just gotta wait for that. And then those brain-controlling alien things are alive in the sewer. Ew, okay. Big threat there, but ew. And then obviously Ingstrom is still alive with the help of the technicians, and it sounds like they want something in return for giving him a new arm. So we'll see what happens there. But wow, what an episode. Absolutely fantastic. Exciting, action packed, emotional. You know, the stuff between Conquest and Invincible was surprisingly emotional, you know, and we thought Eve was a goner there for a minute. And then Conquest almost ripping Oliver in half was really unsettling to watch because for a moment there I thought, oh God, he's really going to tear him in half. This is it. Oliver's going to die here. Whew, no, along comes Big Brother Mark, and he was okay. So I was pleased to see that. But still, like, hearing his body stretch and watching him get almost ripped in half, ooh, scary stuff, scary, intense stuff. But, oh man, what a fantastic episode this was. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it wrapped up an incredible season, teased an even more intriguing and hopefully better season 4. But so far, season 3 has been my absolute favorite of this whole series. It's had the best episodes, the best fights, some of the best character moments, and I'm really looking forward to see what season 4 has in store for us whenever we get that. So keep them coming, Robert Kirkman,